So just a quick recap what we did yesterday.
Sir, you said about modify tools, stretch command, scale, trim, fillet, blend curve, rectangular.
Okay. Anything else remaining? Okay, let's start today. So we'll see the remaining ones, and after that, we'll see what is object snap tracking, polar tracking. Then we'll see what we will see is the other things are like what is dynamic input. That is also what we'll be seeing. So let's start. Okay, so up till now we have seen rectangular array. Now let's look at path array, how the path array works. So let's say I'm creating a line or a polyline, you can see, or a spline also, you can take anything. Let's say I'm taking polyline. Okay, I created this polyline, and along this line I want to create the circles. Okay, this circle should be created along this line. Now to do that, we have the path array. So we can click on path array. Now it says first select object. I've selected this object, give space. Now it says me pick the path. So this is my path. So you can see over here. Now this is somewhat not proper because your base point you have to pick up. Okay, so I'll click on base point, and over here I'll give the base point at this bottom quadrant. Now you can see each point is trying to be itself on the quadrant at different spacings whatever we are giving. Okay, so it is trying itself. Now instead of having this type of polyline, we can have our curves as well. So we'll create a spline. This is it, and we have to have it along the path. So again, path array. So you can directly click over here, select objects, give space, path curve, and you can see this is being created. Now what happens is that the base point what it takes at the first is that the distance from the first point over here. Okay, this is how it takes. Now if you want that the base point should be changed, so you can change it. Let's say this time I want the center to be the base point. Now all the line lies on the center. Okay, so you can see circle center is the path over here. So along the path it has its own. Now of course the same way we are having over here items, between distances. So I can give over here what should be the between distance. So if I give 500, enter, you can see the number of circles changes over here. How many rows you want? So if I give 5, you can see over here 5 rows created like this. Of course it is going to collide at some points. Okay, so you can see over here it is nearly touching each other because the way of our path is in that thing. So you can reduce this, let's say 2. This has been reduced. So again the between distance, the total distance, again the levels are for the 3D as we have discussed. So this is your path array. After that we have is a polar array. Now polar array, how it works. So let's see, I'm creating a circle over here. And polar array is
Sir,
that
can you repeat?
yes.
Can you repeat the path array?
Yeah, so simply you need to have a path. So let's say this time I'm taking the simple line as a path, and I take a polygon. Okay, this is the simple polygon. So we can take this simple object and have along this path as a array. So for that we have pick path array, select the object first, give space, after that pick the path, and your path array is created. Now you have to change the base point if you want the whatever objects are there along the line. So you can just come over here, pick any base point. So let's say this is my base point, and you can see along this your objects are created along this path. So this is your path array. Okay. Coming back over here. Now let's say over here we want to look polar array. So that is your polar array. Now first I'll create one more small circle. I want that this circle should be repeated in an array pattern over this circle. So we have to pick polar array. First always select the object, give space. After that select the circle, or you can specify the center along which you want to have the array. So I am picking this as my center point, and you can see along this center point it is picking this line. Now you can of course change the distances what you want. So you can see over here I have picked this grip point, and I'm just changing the distance to this circle, and along this circle it is created. Okay, so you can see the path array. Of course you can see over here the items how many you want between 60 degrees angles and fill. Okay, so if I want more than 6 circles on this path, so I can give like 10. You can say 10 over here. Of course the angle will be changing because whatever the item numbers you are changing, the angle between each, so from this point to this center, from this point to this center, it will change. You have a base point option also, so click on base point and you can change the base point to the bottom of the quadrant as well. Select this path array, and you can see this is the center point over here right now, and along this you can see a small light circle in this. So this is how it works. Now we have fills. So if you change the fills, of course items may change or the between angles may change. So this depends. Then we have of course the rows. So if you give 4 rows, you can see over here it has created 4 items at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is your rows. Now in distance between that also you can have this grip points, and you can see row count. You can increase like this, decrease over here, or you can just click on total row spacing. You can increase or you can decrease it. So you can see how it looks. So mostly it is same, but just you are having in a circular pattern. So just to show you again, this is your object, this is your path. So polar, select object, done. Specify point of array. Okay, center point of array, or your base point we can specify. So if I want to specify the base point first only, I can pick any of the sides as the base point. Let's say I pick this as base point. Okay, give now the center of specific path, and you can see over here we have given. Now we can decide the distances. So you can just bring in close over here, and that's it. So whichever the point we had picked, that is exactly on the circle center on the path. Just 1 minute. Okay, so this is how you are having the polar array. Sorry for that. After that I'll close the array. So this is your polar array we have seen. Now let's talk about the other things that were remaining. So we have explode command, offset command, erase command. So how does this work? So erase is completely like your delete. So if I click on erase, I can directly erase the objects. Now why this is erasing together? Because the polar array, yes,
Sir, what is the use of this path array and polar array?
to repeat different kinds of geometry if you want to create. Let's say not just for particularly civil, but let's say for the mechanical you are creating and skating. Okay, you have to show bearings in that. So for that you can use the path arrays. So not only for the civil purposes, but for other purposes as well, it can be used. Depends on the geometry that you're going to trying to create. Okay, you want to show a round table. Okay, and along that you want to show the chairs. You can show this way as well. So you can have polar array, and you can show the chairs are rotating around this table. A representation of anything can be there. Okay, now the erase command we were talking about. So erase, just
Okay,
if
sir.
you hover over this, yeah, if you hover over this, you can see over here the erase. It is erasing together because, as I told you in the copy command, these are not together. Okay, arrays are not together. You cannot select them as a single entity, but in this they are single entity objects. So if I select this, they are single entity. Now with the help of explode command also, you can change them from single to multi entities object. Okay, so select this, give explode. Now you can see this is everything is single now. Okay, so you have to just type X, and you can see over here explode command, or you can see over here the explode command option. So breaks a compound object into different component objects. Now I can erase this individually. I want only this two visible. Use space. Done. That's how the erase command and the explode command works. So if you create a rectangle directly, now if I try to hover over this, you can see the complete rectangle is being selected. Okay, so if I pick this, entire rectangle is selected. But if I want to have them into separate component of lines, what I can do is simply explode command and select the object, give space. Now you can see each line is individual line. So this line is an individual line, this line is an individual line, this line is an individual line. So this is explode command. Now opposite to the explode command, we have a join command. So you can see over here, those are now individual objects. Okay, each line is a individual object or entity. Now I can join this as a single command. So you have to select all this and give jo join, and you can see this has become now a single entity object. Okay, I hope that is clear. So even if you create with the help of line, you create something like this, a closed shape, I can just simply join this. So to join that, I can give, you can see over here, single line, single line. So just select this jo join, and this has been joined. Now of course you cannot join the different circles. So if I select this one, I select this one and give join command. Over here you can see 0 object join, 3 objects discarded from the operation. So if I select again this jo join, 0 objects join, 2 objects discarded. You cannot have an object that is not continuous closed loop. Okay, this is a continuous closed loop you are having. These are not continuous closed loop that you can have as a join. Okay, please remember that. After that we have an offset command. Now what is offset is that at certain distance you want to create same geometry. So let's say 20 distance I want to create same geometry inside. So I can click on this offset command. I can click this and I can say 20, and I select the object, and you can see at 20 distance it is creating the offset. At 20 distance I have got the arrow inside, so it is creating inside. If I take the arrow outside, it is creating at 20 distance outside. Now similar to that, if I create a line and I want to have this similar line at distances of 100, okay, at each 100 distance I want to create same lines. So what I can do is I can select the line, then give OF offset command. Now it will ask me the distance. I'll say 100, and you can see at 100 distance it is creating. Which side I take the arrow, that side it will be creating. So 100. But I want to have multiple of this. So I'll first select this, I have 100 over here. Click on this multiple, and you can see over here multiple objects I can just go on creating without escaping the offset command. So lines are created at whatever offsets I want. So this is your offset command. Of course, it works for circle as well. For any geometry you want to offset it inside, outside, the lines, the polygons, anything you want to offset. So it will work for it. Now after that, we have certain commands over here. So first is over here we have break and we have break at point. Now what are the two different things over here? So let's see. I'll create a line. So in this line, if I want to create and break, so I'll click on break. It asks me to select object. I'm selecting object. Now as soon as I select the object, you can see it has started creating a gap in between the line. Okay, I'll repeat this. So coming over here, I selected break option. I'm just selecting this line and you can see it has started creating a gap. Similar to that, if I give space again, I can select this object and you can see it has started creating a gap. Same over here for the circle, let's say I give space, I select this and you can see it has started creating a gap in between that. So a great gap is created with the break command. After that we have is break at point. So click on this. Now if I select this, it is asking me where you want it, so I'm giving the point over here. So you can see the object has been breaked at this point. Okay, so you can see over here. Same thing, if I want to have this line divided by the point, so click on modify over here. I can pin this always. Click on break at point, select the object. Now specify where the point is going to be, and you can see the line has been divided into two parts. Okay, so two parts the line has been divided. So this is how break at point works. Now over here you have another command, that is delete duplicate objects. So if you think a line is duplicated on itself, so let's say while I was rotating this, so RO rotate, I give this line, I specified a base point in between, and let's say I made a copy and I gave angle as 180. So if I hover over this, you can see due to the selection cycling, it is showing two lines are overlapping each other. Okay, so to avoid this or to delete this, what you can do is just click on this delete duplicate objects and you can just select the objects, the line, or you can just select create a window and give space. Now it will ask what should be the tolerance, the layer, and this. Don't check mark anything, let it be like that. Click on OK. Now if I hover over this, you can see there is only a single line present over there. It has deleted the duplicate objects. So that is why this option is used, that is delete duplicate objects. So mostly you can't see the duplicate objects if they are created one upon another. So that is why we are having this duplicate objects delete option. Okay. Any questions up till here? Anyone has any
No, sir.
questions you can ask. Okay. Now let's talk about what are dynamic inputs. Okay. Have I discussed the dynamic input with you?
Mm,
Okay. So what is the dynamic input is
No,
that
sir.
every time you're trying to give an input. So when I click line, you can see near the arrow, there are two boxes and there is a command prompt also that is says specify first point near my crosshair. Okay. So this is known as dynamic input. So directly at that position, I can give my inputs. Otherwise, the second inputs you can give by giving the details in your command prompt. Now, how to disable the dynamic input? Press simply F12. Now you can see that there is no prompt over here. Okay, so if I click line command, you can see it shows me nothing. or whatever inputs I'll be giving. So let's say I give 0. Can you see at the command prompt it is showing me 0, comma 0. That is my inputs. I give enter and the line starts over there. So this is turning off your command prompt. Sorry, dynamic input and turning on your command prompt. So whatever inputs now you give will be appearing at the command line or the command prompt, not near the crosshair. But generally I prefer the crosshair option because it is very much easy to see all the things. So if I give F12, now it is turned on. You can see line over here. If I give 0, you can see the 0 near the crosshair. You don't have to every time take your eyes towards the command line or the command prompt. So comma 0. Now you can see that at command prompt or command line there is no input. All the inputs are shown over here. So this is known as dynamic input. The shortcut to turn on or off this is F12. I hope that's clear. Now coming back, let's talk about object snap tracking. Now what are snaps? First we'll be discussing that. Okay, what are snappings? Now snappings are the certain points available in your AutoCAD for each geometry you create. So let's say I create a line. So for a line, what can be the snapping points? When I select this, it can be a start point, then we can have an end point, and we can have a midpoint. These are the main points that a line can have. Okay. What are the snapping points for a rectangle? A rectangle can have a corner points. So whatever the corner vertices are there, it can have it. It can have midpoints for this lines. Okay, whatever lines you see over here, it can have midpoints for that, or it can have a geometric center. So for this complete rectangle there can be a center over here. So these are the snapping points. Now how to turn on, what are the different snap points, let's check. So coming over here, you have at the bottom you can see there are snap options. So if I come over here, you can see vertex, midpoint on edge, center of face, and all this. Click on object snap settings and you can see 3D object snapping settings. Okay, no, we don't want 3D. Just a minute, we want 2D. Yeah, 2D are over here. So snap cursor to 2D reference points. So over here you have the 2D snap settings. Okay, so end point, midpoint, center point. See, center point is for the circle, and for geometric center, polygons and all this are having geometric centers. We have nodes, so nodes can be your points. We have quadrants for the circles, we are having quadrants. Then intersection, if two lines are intersecting somewhere, so that can be intersection, or a rectangle line is meeting, that can be intersection point. Then extension can be there, insertion points can be there, perpendicular points can be there, tangent points. All this we have to see how the tangent points are there, nearest points can be there, apparent intersection point, parallel. So what you want to turn on or off, you can easily do it from here. If you have to turn off the complete snaps, okay, you don't want snapping, so you have to press F3. So you can see this is known as object snap. Right now I'm talking about object snap. Afterwards I'll be talking about object snap tracking. What is tracking and what is object snap we are talking about right now. So these are your object snaps. So just to show you how this works, if I click on line and I can hover over this. So let me go to the line command. So if I hover over this, can you see a green box right now over here? Okay, a green small box, can you see? Is it visible for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. After that, over here you can see this is the nearest point. Wherever you see like a cross, you will be seeing this is your nearest point you are getting. After that, if I come to the center, you get a triangle. So this is known as midpoint. So all these shapes are shown over here in the object snaps. So go to object snap settings. You can go over here. This can be open from different option also. That is your D settings. So type D settings over here and you can click on object snap. So this is your object snaps. So two ways to open this settings. So over here you can see the shapes. So a square for the endpoint, triangle for midpoint, circle for the center, circle for geometric center, X mark like this with a circle, node, quadrant points like this, a diamond shape, X mark for the intersection. All this are given over here. You can see this is the nearest point example. So click on OK. Object snaps are very much important when working, because what happens is that I'll just show you an example. Now let's say I turn off my object snaps, F3. So you can see object snapping is off. Now when I create a line, I want to start a line from the corner of this rectangle. Okay, whatever corner you see over here, from here I have to start. I click on this corner and I create a line. Now is the line created exactly from the corner? What you can see about it? Can anyone comment?
No.
What about others? What do you think?
Not exactly, sir.
Yeah. So when I zoom in, can you see where the line is created? For this purposes, you need object snaps, very much important. So let's say now with the help of object snaps, I turn on the object snaps with the F3 command and I create a line from the bottom corner of this. So you can see when I was trying to have this, you can see it took my endpoint over there first. It identified that. I click over here, I created. Now this exactly created, how much you zoom in, it will just show you perfectly from this corner the line has started. But for this, it will never show you like that if your object snaps is off. I'll show you. I'll just zoom more and I'll try to create a line. I'll turn off F3, object snaps. Can you see? It still did not create it exactly from the corner. Right? This is how it works. After that, circles. So circles have quadrants. So over here, if you want line, I turn on the F3. So you can see these are the quadrants over here. Let me just show you the quadrant points, or I'll just create a circle and show you. Okay, now you can see this diamond shape over here. This is your quadrant point. So four quadrants are there, 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one over here. So these are your four quadrant points that you're having. So different kinds of snaps are working like this. Now we have seen that this is object snap tracking. Now what, sorry, object snaps. Now what is object snap tracking? When I try to create some geometries, so let's say I'll just create a rectangle. Now see, I have turned off my geometric center. So coming over here, can you see the geometric center is not tick mark. So I cannot get the center of my rectangle. Okay. So to get my center of the rectangle, I have another way. What can be? Let's go from midpoint of this line and midpoint of this line. Now how to do it? Come to line, come to the midpoint of this line. Okay. From this midpoint, I have moving downwards. Can you see a green line?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm moving like this downwards. Now same thing, I'll go to the midpoint of this and I will start moving like this. So when I come to the center, can you see it is snapping exactly like to the center? And from this point I have created a, now this point is your center of this rectangle. That is your object snap tracking. So from the objects we have snaps, and from that snap points I have the tracking lines. To show you this again, you can come over here and you can see I have a green line that is known as object snap trackings. Okay, so let's say from this corner point at some distance of 100, from this at distance of 100 I want to start creating a line. So I can just simply put 100, give space, and you can see over here it has started creating a line. Let me just check, or it has taken the absolute coordinates. Yeah, you can see exactly 100. So this is how object snap tracking works. Is this clear to everyone?
No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah. So see, you have a snapping point, and from that snapping point, when you move your cursor, so I am waiting over here, I am moving my cursor towards straight, you can see a green line that is tracking your thing. Okay, so you can see a green line tracking. So this is known as object snap tracking. Okay, you get this green line from this point to this point. If I go now, hover over this and then slowly move towards right, you can see the green line. That is your object snap tracking. Okay,
So what is the purpose of it? Object snap track.
yeah, object snap track, if you want to create something from certain points, okay, or you don't know exactly where the line will belong, like this way we can have it. So right now, as I told you, I was not knowing where exactly the center point is there of it. Okay, so now how to turn on or off the object snap tracking, I'll just show you. Press F11, you can see object snap tracking is on. Press F11 again, object snap tracking is off. So if I take a line and I go over here, right now you can see no line is being created. Can you see no green lines are there? Because your object snap tracking is off. Press F11, your object snap tracking is on. Now if I go to this point, now you can see the green lines. Okay, so I'm trying to have midpoints of these two lines where they are going to meet without creating lines. I got the midpoint. Other the way, what you will be doing, creating like this a line. Again, you will be creating a line like this, and then you will be getting the midpoint, right? But without having creating this four lines, I just track the things. You can see over here the tracking, and over here the tracking, and exactly I get the center of it.
So can you explain with the circle?
What you want with the circle?
The purpose of a object snap track is to find out the center of the geometry.
No, to have a continuation of that whatever snap point is there. So if I'm having this,
Oh,
you can see over here. From this, I
okay,
want
okay,
to have,
yes.
see, I want to create something in line with this, okay, but from the midpoint of this. So you can see over here, I got this point, okay, to have a continuation of the line. So
Can you
that is
can you
your
explain it? Can you explain it? Can you explain it with some asymmetric geometrical shape?
symmetrical geometry. I did not get
Is
you.
it, sir, random closed figure,
Yeah, no problem.
geometric closed
So
figure?
see, we are creating these two lines, okay, and you want to have where the midpoints of these two lines will meet. I'm creating line. Now over here, this is the midpoint. Okay, I'm tracking this midpoint over here, and from this line also I want the midpoint, and I want this is where the midpoints of two lines can meet, and from here I can create a circle or anything I can create. So if I want to create circle at the midpoint lines of these two lines intersecting, I can go to circle. I can have the midpoint. I'm tracking this line. After that, coming over here, I'm tracking this line. Wherever the center meets, I create a circle.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, this is your object snap tracking. So F11 is the shortcut for it. You can note it down, because after this we have polar tracking as well. We'll see what is polar tracking. Okay. Now let's look about polar tracking. Now polar tracking is for the angular part. Okay, this was just about the straight lines. Now polar tracking is about the angular parts, and for polar tracking we have the F10 as our shortcut. So you can see polar off, polar on. Now let's see that. So when you create a line, or I can just give line command. From this you can see now, uh, your lines, you can see it shows me polar over here in the dynamic input, and you can see 0 degrees, 6 degrees. After that, what degree it is showing? 23 degrees, 45 degrees. Now, why this green lines are there at certain angles this one? Why there is some lines over here? 23 degrees, 6 degrees. Can you see? It is snapping. 6-degree line it is snapping. After that, it is snapping 23 degrees. After that, it is snapping to 45 degrees. I hope you can see this. Again, after that, we are having 67 degrees. I hope everyone is seeing this.
Yes.
Yeah. So why this particular angle? Because this is known as polar tracking. So these angles are given over here. You can see particular angles are given. So if I convert this into 30 degree, 60 degree, 90 degree, 120, I click this. Now it will snap at 30 degrees. You can see 30 degrees. After that 60 degrees. After that 90 degrees. After that 120 degrees. After that 150 degrees. So you can decide. Now this is for the convenience of if you want to create certain things. So let's say from this corner points and from this corner point I want to create lines that will be meeting exactly at 23 degrees. Now instead of going to line and giving 23 degrees distance, what I can do is I can just simply turn on 23 degrees. Or you don't want to create a line from here, you want to create exactly a circular center over here. Okay, so circle you want to create. So what I can do is I can come over here, I can give this 23, 45, 68, 90. From this I can have a line, or what I can do is come to line, sorry, not directly the circle, come to line, and you can see over here, click this point and you can see 23 degrees. Now come straight and create a line at 23 degrees. Perfect. Now from this point, click line, come over here and exactly snap to 23 degrees. Okay, and we can create it. So let's see over here, 23. Yeah, so exactly the point will be created over here. This is how it works. You can have your own tracking settings also. So click on tracking settings. Over here I can have my own settings. So what should be the angle, I can decide over here. So 22.5, 90, 5, 6. If I want to add my new, so I'll click on new, and let's say I want from 3, every 3 degree I want it to be done. So click over here, let's do it. So click on OK. Let's come into this and you can see over here 3, 6, 9, 12. So from this line, if I create a line over here, so you can see 3 degrees, 6 degrees, 9 degrees, every 3 degrees it will be snapping. 21, 24, 27. Okay, so this way your polar tracking works. Now why to use this, why we need this, all we'll be seeing in the examples that we'll be creating. Okay, so we'll be seeing how to create different types of geometry. I'll be giving some for the homework and I'll just show you one of them and what is the need for it. So let's do that. So we have completed the basics that we need for the 2D. Whatever the exercise I am going to give for that, what 2D things we needed, we are done with over here. Now let's see what geometry we are going to create. So I'll just insert that and I'll insert the image of it. Okay, so let's do this one. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so click on OK and we can just create the geometry. So this has been created. Now I can reduce the size of it, just select and I can bring it down how much I want. Just select the corner point and you can get it down. Now over here, observe the things. What is given? So, and let me know how should I start this geometry. I want to create this geometry shown in the picture. What are the things that I should do? Who can tell me?
So
First draw
first we can
circle
Which circle I should draw first?
so larger dial
and
or smaller dial. Anyone.
any, I guess, any circle.
Later we can
So later we can do offset.
Okay. So which side? Tell me. Should I start from left side circle or right side circle?
Left side.
left side.
Okay. Let's start from left. Now what does this mean? R20, R30. So it is radius 20 and radius 30. When it is diameter, the sign is given as a phi over here, not the R over here. Okay. So let's say we have to create a circle of radius 20. Take any random as the midpoint. So coming to home, circle, please make sure you are selecting center radius. I'm clicking over here and I'm giving 20 as the radius. After that, at the same center point, I want to start a second circle and radius should be 30. Okay, so coming over here, center radius, come to this point, click over here and give the distance 30. So two circles are created. Next, what should I do?
Copy two
So
circles to
draw a line
90.
at a distance 90.
Or by polar tracking, snap tracking, you can take a distance 90 it is.
Yeah,
So we can
all
draw
are
a straight
perfect.
line.
Yes, everyone told all your answers are perfect. You can go by any methods. Okay. So the first method can be the simplest one can be just copy this circle. So give CO, copy, pick the center point of this and just move it and give the distance as 90. The best method. This is the best and the quickest method to do the things because over here the radius is 20 and you are center to center distance as 90. So I selected base point as center and move this 90. Okay, so if you take the distance bi from this point center to this point center, you can see this is 90. This is the first method to do it. Second simplest method to do it is object snap tracking. So what you can do is pick circle command, come to the center of this, and from this start your object snap tracking and just give distance 90. From here you can just give the radius 20. Perfect. The distance will be seen. You can just check from here to here. Okay, this is the second most easiest method. The third one is you can simply create a line of 90 distance, and from that midpoint again you can go to the circle, click over here and create a circle of 20 distance. This is the third method. So whichever method you can go, see, it will be not always like that only one person doing his method only will be right. Okay, we can have different methods to do the things. I have shown you different ways which commands you can use. Copy commands, snap trackings, you can create line command and then also do it. Okay, so we have created this. After this we have a smaller circle of radius 10 inside this. So I can again go to the circle command, C circle, pick the midpoint, that is the center point and give 10 as the radius. So this is created.
So
Now
we can
how
do
should,
offset also.
yes, yeah, you can do the offset as well. But for offset, you
Okay.
need to have the perfect distance what you're going to need. Better than that is just creating a circle in the between. Okay. You can use scaling also. So 20 divided by 2 and you can have 10. Okay. So 0.5 of the 20, that is reducing it to half. By scaling this larger circle, you can get 10 radius circle as well. Depends on your methodologies. So after that, how to create these two lines?
Join the quadrant point.
Do you think this might be joining just the quadrant points? If you observe this properly,
Tangent.
So tan.
yeah, they are tangents. Because if you just join the quadrant points, let's see what happens. I have just a minute. Line quadrant of this, quadrant of this. Similarly at the bottom, quadrant and quadrant. Now what happens when you create quadrant is that the line is passing from the inside, and from this figure you don't see that happening. Okay,
Okay.
so that is not a quadrant line. So from joining quadrants and quadrant, that is a tangent line. How should I create a tangent line? Can anyone explain? Does anyone know? Not, I have not shown you. Okay. So how to do that is click on line command. After you click on line, you have to hold shift and right click. Once you hold shift and right click, you get some options over here. Now this option says that particularly it will be picking only that points which you select. So if I come and say center, it will only pick center. It will never pick the quadrant points. Okay, unless and until I escape from that command. So if I pick now the tangent, so coming over here, I'm picking tangent. Now it will just pick the tangent point over here. Can you see it is picking the tangent? It is not showing me the center at all. It is not showing me the quadrant points. Can you see over here? It is just showing me the tangent. So wherever I click, it is going to be tangent. So if I click over here, you can see wherever I am moving the line, it is just being a tangent to the circle. Now the same thing, I want the line to be tangent to the second circle. So shift, right click on tangent and click over here. And you can see these two lines are perfectly tangents. Similarly to the opposite side, go to line command, shift, right click, say tangent, pick over here, tangent and shift, right click, say again tangent, tangent. And it automatically adjusts that this line will be tangent to both the circles. And this is how your geometry is created. I hope this is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So mostly I have taken all the
Yes.
concepts that you need to do this geometries. So I'll be giving this geometries as homework or an assignment, you can say. So coming over here. These are the geometries that you're going to create. Very much simple based on the concepts and the commands we have used. Nothing different. You can just go and create it. So you can see over here ellipses are there, circles are there, this circle is there. So phi is the sign for your diameter. Okay, phi over here. So two holes of phi 10 means diameter 10. This is also the same, but you have to use applications over here. So to create this inner hexagon, so be aware about this, how you will be creating. Simple geometry, this is the most simplest one. You can use any method, there is no restrictions on that. I want the final figure to be perfect as shown. This is also very simple. You create it by mirroring it 10 times or whatever the things. No problem at all. Just it should be perfect like this. This is also the same. This we have done right now only. So this is very much simple. This is the advance of what we did just now. So you have to just trim some of the things. Okay, so trimming is there. This you don't have to see. This is the hard one that I will be giving you. Okay, just try it. There are too many complications in this as well. Just try to have your mind how you can just create it. Okay, just put some efforts and try this out. I'll be doing this tomorrow in the class. Okay, so these are the geometries that I am sending you on the files. So we have created our teams account, right? So I hope everyone has access to it. Over here you have batch Phoenix. In that we have some student tasks. In the student task, you have to go to click on files. In this files you will be having a folder named as AutoCAD, and in that you will be having task 1, and this is the task 1 that you will be getting. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
How we will submit the assignment?
Yeah, so for submitting the assignment in the student task only, you have to create another folder. So let's say for example a folder will be there. So submitted In this folder submitted task, you can have someone's name. So let's see, we have Ajay. So over here, your folder will be there, folder by the name of Ajay. If your name is whatever your name is, create your folders. Okay, you can just come over here. You have the permissions to create folders. So you just click on new folder, and you can create over here. So in the Ajay folder, there will be you have to create again a folder by your name of AutoCAD, and all this AutoCAD task you have to upload in this. So Ajay will be coming to the submitted task folder. He will be getting his name Ajay, and in AutoCAD he will be submitting the task. The submitting of task should be in the file format of AutoCAD only. I'll be telling each time what file format should you submit. So this time create all the drawings that I am giving over here. So mostly this will be 5 to 6 geometries are there. Create in a single file. Okay, don't create every geometry in new file. Create all the things in a single file and then submit it. So you have to submit only one AutoCAD file.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So
File name with the date and name.
no need for date because automatically it registers the date, which date you submitted over here. The date is registered. Okay. So
Okay.
you can just put the file
So do
name
we
or
do we have
assignment
to
task.
insert?
Yes.
So do we have to insert the drawing on AutoCAD also?
Insert the drawing. Yeah, you can attach. You don't need to do
Attach
this
this.
images. If you want to remove the images after you are done, images are
Okay.
for yourself. Instead of going and minimizing and each time taking checking what is the
Mm-hmm.
image, instead of that you can
Mm-hmm.
just attach it. After you finish, you can simply delete this. No problem.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay, so that's it. Let me take your attendance.
सर एक मिनट ना सर
Yes.
ऑटोकैड में जो ड्रॉ टूल्स है
Okay.
उसमें स्प्लाइन सीवी और स्प्लाइन फिट के बारे में जो आपने बताया
Okay.
तो स्प्लाइन सीवी को हम लाइन पे कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं
Flying CV को line में no, I have not seen that. I hardly don't think how you
कर
can
सकते
convert that. So you have this flying CV. Now this is your spline CV. You don't
हैं
have
हाँ
any options. You can just simply come over here and change or the remove the curve over here. So you can see you can come over here, remove vertex. Okay, come over here, say remove vertex. Come over here, remove vertex. Come over here, remove vertex. This seems as a straight line, but is it a straight line? No, it is still a spline. Okay, I hope your doubt is clear.
Can we explode spline?
No, you cannot explode a spline. The spline will remain the spline only. Explode option works for straight lines, whatever you are having. Okay, not for the curves that you are having.
Okay.
Yeah. Divya, Ajay,
Yes, sir.
Samir,
Yes, sir.
Pavan,
Yes, sir.
Asif,
yes, sir.
Nawaz,
Yes, sir.
Nivedita,
Yes, sir.
Shubham,
यस सर
Giteshwari,
Present.
Aisha,
Yes, sir.
Akash, Minu, Riaz,
Yes, sir.
Fahad,
Yes, sir.
Soleha, Somya Devi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's it. Okay, I want someone to wait for the individual call. Just give me 1 second. I'll tell you who can wait.
Samir, please wait for the individual call. Others can leave.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.